Well, like with Colonel Hathgood of the Iowa National Guard, I called him back then, too. And I said, why are you doing this training? He said, well, it's because we don't have a dedicated MOUT facility, military operations and urban terrain in Iowa. That's why we have to go house to house to prepare them to go to Afghanistan.
But that was after they told the newspaper it was for a gun confiscation drill.
Oh, no, he admitted that. He says, oh, it's gun dealers in Afghanistan. But here's the thing. He was lying. There is we found one. There's a dedicated MOUT facility. I think it's called Mount Hood or Camp Fort Hood in Iowa. That is like a fake city they can go train in. So he was lying to me. He lied to you too. So that's what really kind of got me. That was actually when I started Oath Keepers. Right then. I'd already had the idea. That's why I was like, okay, it's time to do this now because they're, like you said, after a while, you see this pattern of training, and they always say, well, we're just training them so they can go home and go do this and that. Like they had Uzbekistan troops up in Montana during the recent National Guard training up there. And yes, they're coming in, they're officers observing the training, but what are they there for? Is it only just to go back home to Uzbekistan? I mean, come on, So after a while, you have to say, look, you don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. You keep doing all these things. The infrastructure pattern.
I know you're hot. I've never heard you like this, Stewart, but we got a family show, so cool down,
okay,
big man.
Sorry.
And no, it's okay. But I mean, look, what do you want to say directly to the slimes at Slime Ball and to the Southern Poverty Slime Center? What do you want to say directly to them? I mean, these are the guys that invoke race and create division through balkanization, through tribalism to manage our society. I mean, Chris Matthews has already blown all his credibility.
Well, that's just it. I'll just tell them, look, the more you scream and yell and flail, the worse it's going to be for you. You're just going to sink deeper into your own fucking cesspool. I'm sorry, Alex. You're going to sink deeper into your own cesspool because that's what they're doing is they're just exposing, it's becoming ridiculous. They're jumping the shark. I mean, everyone's a terrorist. Everyone's a racist across the entire spectrum of the freedom movement, So after a while, it becomes so absurd that it's going to backfire on them. So I tell them, go ahead, keep going,
Stewart, again, I've never heard you this fired up. I just want to point out that well, just hold on a minute. We got to stop right here for a moment. In Fall of the Republic, we have a 20-minute extra. I need to send this to you. That was our interviews with you at Lexington Green this year, and some other Oath Keepers. That is the extras for Fall of the Republic, and it's very, very important information there. Obviously, the establishment is really worried about the police and military waking up. That's what Jack McClam has done for decades. Where do you see all this going as Obama has the lowest approval rating of any president ever, as it's falling even faster now? Where do you see all this going? Well, I mean, my concern is that you might have a catalyst event that would cause them to, try to jump into emergency mode, whether it's an economic collapse or whatever else. That's the biggest danger. That's been, like you pointed out before, it's a historic danger. Not conspiracy theory. I mean, Northwoods was real. The Reichstag fire was real. This is what's done throughout history. Whether it's accidental or intentional, that's what I'm concerned about, is that, like an economic collapse, for example, that could be something that could, throw everybody into turmoil and fear and make them accept emergency rule. But I think the bottom line is that they go too far, and everything they say is a slap in the face of the veterans and a slap in the face of the police officers. What they're telling them really is, because they know it's nonsense. They know all this insinuation that we're racist or that we're affiliated with terrorists is bullshit. But they know. Stewart, I'm going to have to put you on hold. Okay, I can't. I'm going to put you on hold right now. Okay, because I can't have that here. And I don't want to censor and cut you off or start delaying you, but I'm going to have to. I've never heard you this hot, and I understand you're mad, but. We're going to go to break, and I'm going to talk to Stewart in a moment. This is something else here today. This is all very, very serious, what we're dealing with. And a lot of military veterans and police and people are very upset because for decades they denied that this tyranny was taking place. And then now the New World Order is being announced. The world government is being set up. All of this is unfolding, and the tyranny is real. The FEMA camps are real. The foreign troops training are real. I remember seeing in the Toronto Star and a bunch of other papers, U.S., Canadian, and Mexican generals meet to prepare to deal with terrorism. I mean, they are really setting this up. This is really happening. We're going to go to break here in a moment.
came true. Everything we've done has been right.
Constitutional law scholar, former Ron Paul aide, founder of Oath Keepers, Stewart Rhodes, oathkeepers.org. You can see all the great evil, according to the government operatives. You can go read all the evil Bill of Rights stuff. Oh, look, there's Morris D's right there, popping up right now on the random generator that shows it past headlines going back 2 years. Stewart, in closing, you're pretty hot today. Boy, I've never heard you this hot. Why are you so hot?
Well, I haven't slept in about 3 days, but the other thing is that, you know, these are deadly serious manipulators. Southern Poverty Law Center, you know, they don't just talk. What they do is they go to the police. It's what's ironic about this. They're accusing me of improperly trying to influence police, and yet that's what they do for a living. They go in there and they try to shape their minds into thinking that everyone in America is their enemy, and then they try to encourage them to bring machine guns to your house, kick down your door, and stomp on your pets. But they won't do it themselves. They'll send the police. Yeah,
it's little chicken neck cowards. And by the way, you haven't slept in 3 days. You're about to launch your first big event in Las Vegas, and I know how that is when you're doing an event, doing a lot of media. You're working your tail off, and we commend you. And I think you did a great job with him interrupting you, you know, making your points. They were making me sick. But go ahead.
Oh, well, that's about it. It's just that, you know, it's infuriating because no matter how true you are, no matter how above board you are, no matter how clear you are about what you're doing, it doesn't make a difference. They'll just lie. The bigger the lie, the more successful the lie. But like I said earlier, I believe it's backfiring. They're lying so big and they're smearing so broadly that it becomes meaningless anymore. We're all racist. We're all crazy people. So it goes for everyone. Everyone in the 9/12 event was a racist and a crazy person. So, you know, they're basically smearing one half of the entire country at least. And it's starting to backfire on them. People are like, that's enough of that. I'm not going to listen to this. I'm not going to let that intimidate me. I'm not going to let it stop me from getting out in the streets. But what they do want to say also about the G20, people say, well, where was Oath Keepers there? Well, Luke Rudowski is one of our forum members. He was there, and if you notice the video of him on the bullhorn, he was...
You know what, Stewart? I wouldn't even respond to COINTELPRO people. I see him in stories we write about your group on InfoWars going, why doesn't Stewart lock and load and start killing people? 99% chance that's an FBI agent trying to get people, just like we told everybody that... Hal Turner was a Fed, and it's now come out in federal and state court. They're there. They're never the ones that go out and step up. They're making it up. They're trying to criticize. The reason you're speaking to police, and you're just launched 6 months ago, is so that they begin to understand their oath. How dare anybody criticize what you're doing when they're sitting on their big, fat, giant butts?
Thank you, Alex. Appreciate that.
No, I'm just not even respond to them. I want everybody to go to Oath Keepers. I want everybody to email oathkeepers.org, everybody they know, every day, InfoWars every day, the free podcast of our show every day. Get this video, make hundreds of copies apiece, get aggressive, hang flyers up. Let's take America back, and who cares what the chicken necks at the Southern Poverty Law Center say? Who cares what all the scum running the system say? We're going to audit the Fed. We were called kooks 20, 30 years ago. Ron Paul was for wanting to audit the Fed. Now he's got a 2/3 majority in the House. We know who the enemy is. We've identified him, and they're scared to death. And you keep it up, Stewart. I'm glad you hadn't slept in 3 days, and I'm glad you're fired up, because we need to start getting angry about what's happening in this society and grow some chest hair and get angry and become men again and stop being cowards that just roll over to fluoride in the water and mercury in the vaccines and GMO food and the chemtrails and the New World Order, and they're all of it. You got your event coming up in Las Vegas tomorrow, oathkeepers.org. Stewart Rhodes, we'll talk to you again soon. God bless you, and I'm glad the New World Order's taking the bait and putting you on TV, because now police and military will think about their oath, and they'll know there's a group that stands with them. Stewart, we'll talk to you again soon, okay?
Sure.
Thought I'd end things on a fired-up note. Follow the Republic. Get it out to everybody. We shall prevail. Long live the Republic. Death to the New World Order. Retransmission with Lindsey Williams and others starts now. Stay with us.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Be sure to visit GCNlive.com today.